Welcome back everyone to the series where I play and review classic games that I missed out on. Last time I played Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, which is a remake of an old game so it counts, although I probably should have played the original first. For this episode though, I played Jak and Daxter the Precursor Legacy. Ever since I made this channel, Jak and Daxter has been recommended to me countless times in comments. I've been meaning to play it for a while now, it only took a little bit of a gameplay video to convince me. Everything I saw caught my interest, plus it was made by Naughty Dog, of course the people who made Crash. That plus all of the good things I hear about this game, I knew it was going to be pretty good. So let's see whether or not I think this series is worth getting into. The game starts off with Jak and Daxter heading to Misty Island, an area that Samos has told them not to visit. They explore around for a while until they come across a group of lurkers crowding around these two characters here called Gol and Maya. Gol and Maya are commanding the lurkers to search for precursor artifacts and eco near the village, and to pretty much kill anyone who strays away from the village, aka Jak and Daxter. They don't give a shit though, so they continue exploring the island when they find this mysterious dark pool of eco. They get caught by one of those lurkers from earlier, so Jak throws his canister at it. Turns out it's a canister of dark eco and it blows up. Daxter falls into the dark eco pit and comes back out as this. Yeah, I had no idea what this was supposed to be, but the wiki says it turned him into an Ottsel, a combination of an otter and a weasel. And hey, I'm a Crash fan, I'm used to this kind of stuff. The only person who can turn Daxter back is Gol, a dark eco sage who lives far away to the north. There is a teleporter gate, but Samos can't use it because the other three sages hadn't kept theirs open. That means to get there, they're gonna have to go on foot through Fire Canyon. The only problem is you can't go on foot through Fire Canyon. That's when Kira comes in and suggests that we use a Zoomer to fly through instead. She says she needs 20 power cells to give it enough energy to make it through, and this is where the gameplay begins. Power cells are the main collectible in the game. These are what you're going to need to go forward and to reach new areas. Altogether there's 101, but you don't need that many to finish the game, you only need 72 to get to the final area. But collecting all 101 will give you a secret ending, which we'll talk about when we get to that. In each of the areas you play in, there's power cells to collect by completing different tasks. You can also give certain villagers precursor orbs in exchange for a power cell too, which brings us on to the second collectible, precursor orbs. These are scattered around the areas you play through and they're usually not that hard to find. Although there were a few times I needed 2 or 3 more and had to search the whole level again to find them. Boggy Swamp and Spider Cave, I'm looking at you. And finally we have the Scout Flies. There's 7 of these to find in each area. They're stored in these locked boxes, and these are a bit easier to find because when you're close by you can hear a faint noise in the background which gets louder the closer you get to them. Once you collect all 7 in the level you get a power cell in return. With the exception of a few, I found the levels quite fun to look around for these collectibles. I really like the beginning levels that you play in, they're so bright and full of colour. How can you not enjoy exploring a place that looks like this? Oh, and I haven't checked whether or not this plant is reference to Crash, but it's definitely a reference to Crash. Snowy Mountain is another gorgeous looking level. Graphically, I think this game still holds up. I also love how there's day and night cycles and it's not just fixed as one of the two. It completely changes the way the levels look and it makes some of them look so beautiful when the sun is coming up or going down. Oh, and let's talk about the vehicle levels because they were enjoyable most of the time. I feel like the Zoomer controls really well. I love flying around on this thing. You have to use it quite a few times throughout the game for different purposes. Precursor Basin is a whole level dedicated to using this thing. Outside of that level, you can use it to reach new locations. You get to use it on Misty Island, it's a blast. And in Sentinel Beach you crack open the Flutflut egg and you actually get to use the Flutflut in future levels, only like twice though. I feel like we could have got more use out of this thing, but hey, it was fun while it lasted. I've already mentioned my 2 least favourite areas, Spider Cave and Boggy Swamp. They're not bad levels, they just both look the same and it gets confusing, especially when you're missing a few precursor orbs. Spider Caves has this huge cave you climb up with different exits that either lead to different parts of the level or go back around into the cave. Yeah, these two frustrated me the most. Going back a little bit, after you collect the first 20 power cells, you can then power Kira's heat shield. The good thing about only needing 72 in total is that you can skip certain power cells and entire levels as long as you make up for it elsewhere. I finished the main game before I even found out about the Lost Precursor City. Like I just didn't know this level existed until I went back and looked a bit more. I don't know how because the entrance is quite obvious. I remember seeing the path, I just forgot about it and moved on I guess. But yeah, Jak doesn't do too much talking in these cutscenes. In fact, I don't recall him saying anything in this game. Daxter does all the talking, and that's pretty much all he does.
Hey, baby!
He's always making jokes, yelling, telling stories that make him sound like the hero instead of Jak. You don't play as him or anything, he's just there with you on the adventure.
I'll say something really teary at the funeral, like, am I gonna get changed back now?
Daxter has more of a personality for sure. Jak just looks like Super Saiyan 2 Goku, but even though you never get to play as him like you would Clank in the original Ratchet and Clank, he's actually a crucial part of the game, and I'm not just talking about the story. I feel like the game will be more boring without him. Anyway, when you get to Rock Village, just after passing through Fire Canyon, you can turn on the Blue Sage's teleporter gate so Samos and Kira can get through it. That's when Samos started to think something was wrong because the Blue Sage's hut was left a mess. This is the second set of levels, I guess. You now need a total of 45 power cells before you can move on to the third. Basically, a big lurker named Claw is throwing flaming boulders down on Rock Village and is blocking the entrance to Mountain Pass. He's also blocking Jak from getting to him with another huge boulder, so to get through it, you need the 45 power cells to access the Blue Sage's levitation machine to move the boulder out of the way. Claw is one of the 3 boss fights in this game. I found the boss fights to be nothing special apart from the last one, I guess, which was pretty good. I don't really care that there's only 3. It didn't really need any more than that. There's no point cramming them in there just for the sake of it. The Claw fight is a lot better than the first boss you face, which I didn't even mention because it really wasn't that great. It is the first boss you face though, so it gets a pass. After going through Mountain Pass, you arrive at the volcanic crater and activate the teleporter in the Red Sage's hut. That's when Golem Maya appear and say, hey, we kidnapped the sages and f*** you, we're releasing all the world's dark eco. Now you need 72 power cells to get a new heat shield upgrade so you can pass through Lava Tube. Once you go through the Pain of Spider Caves and have enough power cells, you can go to the final area. In this level, your goal is to free the sages. It's a solid level overall, and then you fight Golem Maya, which I'd say is the best boss fight of the 3. Even though there's only 3, at least they get better with each one. At the end of the fight, Jak gets light eco, which is the first and only time you see this kind of eco in the game. I haven't spoken about the different types of eco yet, but they give you different abilities for a short amount of time. Blue eco allows you to activate certain precursor platforms and doors and stuff like that. Red eco gives you a strength boost. Super Saiyan, which allows you to shoot ki blasts. Green eco restores health, and again light eco, which is a combination of the other 4. Jak uses it to blow up the robot, it lands in dark eco, and yay, happily ever after. Except Daxter can't be changed back anymore because Gol has been defeated, so he's stuck as this.
Daxter, now we can't change you back.
Don't worry about me, baby. You know what they say. Big things come in small packages.
After the credits, we see this ancient precursor door that can only be opened with 100 power cells. So I went back to each area and collected everything, all the power cells and all of the precursor eggs. It was annoying at times because in certain areas I was missing maybe 6 orbs and searched the entire area more than once and still couldn't find them. I swear I went through Forbidden Jungle so much and then I found out you can jump on the boss's head and he pops out precursor eggs, like come on. But after you collect them all, you don't actually get to see what's behind the door, you just get to witness their reactions to it. They're all amazed and in shock at what they see. Was it worth doing all that for this ending? No. But from what I've heard, you get to see what's behind the door in Jak 2, so after I play that game, maybe my opinion will change. And yeah, that was Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy. Was it a good game? Yes. The name of this series doesn't really work well for games like this because the answer is quite obvious. I started off this series with Crash games that get very mixed reception from fans, so it makes more sense with those games. But Jak and Daxter is a must-have from the PS2 era, especially if you like platformers. Graphically, the game still holds up in my opinion. Some of these locations still look great, and the game itself is fun. There's a few times I found it a bit boring, mainly when I was going through areas trying to 100% them. Other than that, I think that's all I have to say. I highly recommend playing this if you haven't already. You can either play the original PS2 version, you can find copies on eBay for like £3, £4, £5, or you could pick up the collection instead on the PS3 or the PS4. Before I play Jak 2, I'm going to be playing Ratchet and Clank, the first one, because that's another series that I haven't gotten into yet. I've already started the first one, I think I'm about halfway through right now. I might cover Sly Cooper as well before getting to Jak 2, but we'll see. That being said, thank you for watching, I hope you all enjoyed. Definitely subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you all in my next video.